Elk or Wapiti is among the biggest species found in the deer species and is among the biggest land animals in North America. Along with Northeast and Central Asia, it distinguishes itself from the still greater moose. North America's Elsa's Alcis, often referred to as elk in British English names and names linked in other European dialects referring to the people of Europe. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Elk inhabit forests and the edges of these habitat grasses as food. Male elk have leaves and bark of plants. Big antlers that they molt annually. Males partake in ritualized mating as well. Actions taken during the rut include postured antler combat, battling it out while bugling a loud succession of dominance, establishing vocalizations over other men and draws women. Despite being now native to the northeastern Asia and America, it was significantly more widely dispersed in the past. There were populations all over Eurasia. Late 1800s into Western Europe and persisted into the early Pleistocene. Southern Sweden and the Alps during the Holocene. Elk have adapted effectively to several nations. Location: it was first used involving New Zealand and Argentina. In fact, flexibility could pose a hazard. The ecosystems and indigenous species into that it has been presented. Elk are vulnerable to a variety of infectious conditions, some of which are contagious. Animal attempts to eradicate pathogenic ailments originating in elk herds. Immunization has mostly had mixed results. Success: elk are revered in various cultures as having theological significance. Portions of Asia have antlers and they're utilized in conventional medicine. Is velvet. Elk are hunted as game animals in their native leaner and more protein-rich flesh than chicken or beef. Elk were long thought to be a part of a subspecies of the red deer in Europe. However, evidence from numerous genetic research using mitochondrial DNA starting in 1998 demonstrates that the two different species important morphological variations that separate C. canadensis from other sea elephants have a broader rump than the former. Pale-colored antlers with a patch. Elk are characterized by their hefty bodies, with short tails and thin legs. Their shoulders range in height from 0.75 to 1.5 meters, with a 1.5 meter nose-to-tail distance from 1.6 to 2.7 meters. Males weigh 178 to 497 pounds and are heavier, while females range from 171 to 292 kilograms. The subspecies with the biggest size is the Theodore elk C, found west of the Cascade, was C. Roosevelt in the Californian states of the United States, Washington, Oregon, and in the province of British Columbia in Canada. Elk known as Roosevelt have been reintroduced. The largest males are in Alaska, perhaps weighing up to 600 kilograms. Roosevelt elk males typically weigh more than between 318 and 499 kilos, however women typically weigh 261 to 283 kilograms. Two male elk weigh between 204 and 318 kilograms. In contrast to 172 antlers weigh kilograms and are comprised of bone. Can increase by 2.5 centimeters every day. Each day while being active, a little coating of velvet skin is vascularized skin. Envelopes and safeguards them. This is removed throughout the summer, when antler development is complete. Usually, bull elk have 6 tines. Every antler. Elk from North America and Siberia, while the alpacas, which have the greatest antlers, the smallest is in Wapiti. Roosevelt bull antlers can be 18 pounds. Kilogram. The growth and maintenance of antlers are fueled by testosterone. Early spring and late winter are the lowest testosterone levels, which results in the antlers falling off. During elk get a thicker layer of hair in the fall, which aids in protecting them during the winter. North American elk, both genders develop a narrow neck. Manes. Other subspecies females might not be during the early summer. The bulky winter coat has with shed. Elk are known to slap trees and other objects. Various tools to aid in hair removal from the bodies of all elk have small, distinct ears. Short tails with rump patches. They have various colorations depending on the seasons, habitat kinds, and the common use of gray or lighter coloring in the deeper, more crimson winter in the summer. A coat species that live in dry environments tend to possess coats that are lighter than theirs. Those who occupy woodlands most have a lighter shade of orange, brown, or yellow. Dark brown contrasted with brown coats the neck and head hair during the summer, in the woodland. Manchurian and Alcis in Wapitis modified have reddish-brown or crimson coats with fewer differences between the body coat and the body's relaxation during the summer months. Calves are typically born with spots with several types of deer and lose them by the summer's end. Manchurian Wapiti adults might still have a few on their summertime back. There are orange dots until they are older coats. Additionally, this trait has been spotted in the jungle wearing a European red buck. The elk's environment and behavioral. Most sociable species of deer in the summer, the size of a group can approach 400 people. Please adults guys, and during the majority of the year females are divided into various herds, larger female herds, while bulls form small groups, and sometimes even by themselves. Bulls may connect with older animals. Bulls or groups of women. The herds of males and females converge when the breeding season, which may start late in August. Bulls start their rut at this time, and compete to incorporate girls in their harems. Males attempt to subdue competitors by speaking and acting out with their antlers. If neither bull retreats, they fight in antler combat, occasionally suffering significant injuries. Bulls also make ground-level holes, known as wallows, where they defecate and their bodies in a rune. The urethra of a male elk faces upward, so that urine is almost sprayed at a straight angle. The urine seeps into their penis. This leaves them with a distinctive odor which pulls in cows. Leading bulls trail herds of cows. The rut, which lasts from early to late August. Winter, a bull will protect his 20-cow herd. At least 2 rival bulls and predators in his harem. A bull engages with cows both directions, courting and herding. When a female too far from the harem's boundaries range, the man will advance on her quickly, block her way and rush her violently to the harem. Again, injurious conduct is accompanied by stretched out neck with the head drooping. Antlers. Relaxed bull may become aggressive and strike cow armed with antlers. The bull is more voluminous during courtship, calming and comes up to her with his elevated head and antlers. The man makes a test intent signal. The female's receptivity to sex through his tongue was moving. A cow will drop her head if she is not ready, then swing back and forth while mouth opening and closing in response. The bull will pause in order to not to frighten her. If not, the bull will lick you a lot. The woman before mounting her younger, less imposing bulls called bulls with spikes because they have antlers won't fork unless it harasses. These bulls are impatient around unattended cows and won't engage in any wooing rites and will keep pursuing a notwithstanding her signals to halt. Female. As a result, they are less procreative, effective, and a cow might stick around the large bull to prevent teasing. Bulls in charge don't tolerate increase and will chase them away from balls. Its harem's balls emit an obnoxious, high-pitched, known as a whistle-like vocalization. The male's bugling that advertises endurance for long distances, uncharacteristic for a vocalization made by a buglings from huge animals, can go up to the hertz frequency of 4,000. Achieving this requires blowing air from the nasal cavities to the glottis. Elk can make higher-pitched noises, the larynx being used, having 4 elka ruminants. As a result, recessed stomachs. Unlike moose and white-tailed deer, which are mostly browsers, much like elk, in that they are predominantly cattle grazers, but they also browse. Elk, much as other deer, tends to perform most of their morning feeding and searching for safe areas to digest in between meals. Their diets fluctuate a little depending on the season, when local grasses are a supplementing tree bark all year round. Winter consumption of forbs and trees over the summer. Sprouting elk eat 9.1 kilograms on average per day of plants each day. Special preference for aspen shoots, which springtime increase. Elk have influenced aspen groves in some way, which in some cases have been dropping. Areas where there are elk, managers of the land and wildlife carry out surveys to monitor elk pellet populations. A population's usage of resources. Elk are preyed upon by wolves and coyotes. Black and brown bears, coyote groups, Siberian tigers, and cougars mostly prey on elk calves, but can occasionally require a winter or grown up with a sickness throughout the larger Yellowstone environment, of which Yellowstone National Park is a part. The most significant predators are bears. Of heifers, cows in their prime are killed, and they are greater potential to impact population growth compared to the slaughter of bulls or calf. Elk may change their habits to avoid predators. Between grazing and browsing, grazing puts an elk in a risky situation. Being in an open setting region, leaving it with its head lowered and not being able to observe what is occurring in the area in which living with others reduces risk as well. The likelihood of someone being preyed upon. More robust bull elk are less susceptible to has enough money to travel alone, but cows remain in larger herds for safeguards for their calf. Bulls are more susceptible to being eaten in the late winter by wolves after months of weekend have passed of pursuing women and fighting them. Those men who recently lost their predators are more prone to target antlers. Thank you for watching.